What is good, my people? We are live back on the forecast. What's going on, my people? I know I've been gone for a little minute. I've been busy working. I'm trying to finish up this book. I've been working on it for like 2 years. It's everything that I talk about in a lot of my videos. The whole history of this white supremacy system. You know what I'm saying? So I've been working on that. I'm so close to finishing. I've been trying to finish up. But a new video coming on soon. What's going on, Mo? How you doing? So yeah, I just came on here tonight to talk to the people. You can call in and talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. And let me put the number up so you guys can see it. Yeah, the number is 804-601-4015. So, anybody can call in or whatever and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. And yeah, I know a lot of y'all been seeing a lot of these protests been going on. I wonder what y'all think about that. This whole Black Lives Matter movement. I know the police been pepper spraying the protesters every day, but from what I see, it's mostly white kids that's out there doing all the damage, doing all the violence. So I want to hear what y'all got to say about that. You can call in and talk about whatever. I just wanted to highlight the people. I'm not gonna be on here too much longer. I'm working on the next video, and you can subscribe to my backup channel. I'm never really sure when YouTube is gonna block me from coming on here, going live, or uploading videos. So you want to subscribe to the backup channel. It's in the description. The Forecast Radio 24. The next video should be up soon. I wanted to get it up today, but it'll probably be tomorrow. But I'm just coming on here to talk to the people and see what y'all got to say. But when it comes to these protests and all of these, murders and what's going on, and of course they're gonna try to tie it into the election and all of that. But we as a group, we cannot focus on what other people are doing. We have to focus and organize on what we want to do. It's time for us to decide whether we've had enough or whether we want to continue to go through the same thing for another 100 years. Yeah, YouTube is a bunch of haters. And right there, right now, and every time that they can kind of see we getting fed up, they try to jump out ahead of us, and change the dynamic, take over whatever movement that we have planned. Right? That's why every black-owned black organization, the number is 804-601-4015. And anybody can call in. This is just an open phone conversation. I just came because I haven't been on here for a while, so I came and talk to the people. But every time, they see an organization that may be able to pick up steam, they get out ahead of it and nip it in the bud. Right now, as you see with the Black Lives Matter movement, we can't really say it was ever a black organization. Right? I've never even met anybody who said, "Oh yeah, I'm a Black Lives Matter activist." But now you see a bunch of white kids under the banner of Black Lives Matter going out there destroying property. But what they do is they blame us. They look at us and say we are the problem. So, they do these things in order to criminalize us, right? But we are still, peaceful protesting. But what we need to do is start organizing with ourselves, amongst ourselves, right? We can't be fooled. We have no allies. We are all we got. And until we learn that, then we're going to be in the same circumstances over and over. Now is the time where, of course, more people are focusing on supporting black businesses. But we have to come up with a plan to end systematic, right, the whole system of white supremacy. right? They're out there protesting. They may be talking about police brutality, but police brutality is nothing but a symptom of white supremacy, right? I talk about police brutality because maybe that'll be something that'll get the people angry enough to realize that we have to put our petty differences to the side and do what we have to do. But if you notice, they only talk about certain cases, right? There's a lot of cases that we don't even hear about. And now it's not so much the police doing committing a lot of these murders. It's your average white person. And the same cycle happens over and over until we learn that we are in a war. I don't know what it's going to take for us to learn that we are at war. These people are not our friends. Those same people who you think are out there protesting for our benefit, they are not going to be down with destroying a system designed to protect them at the end of the day. Because nobody is going to go against their instincts to survive. They're always going to fight back. We just have, so much self-hatred. It's been instilled in us, self-loathing, that we have this complex where we think we need a white savior. So if one white person says, hey, racism, it seems like that's pretty bad. I think racism should stop. Now we champion this person. But when you do things like that, you make it even more easy for the enemy to infiltrate you. They've always infiltrated us, thinking, hey, maybe they'll be on our side. Maybe they'll help us out. They said something nice to me before, but they're not going to go against their instincts to survive, right? They may not even think that you're less than human, even though far too many do. But at the end of the day, do you think they want to see America destroyed? And instead of finding ways for us to capitulate into the system, right now we need to be talking about what kind of system can we build for ourselves. Right? You can't even do business with your enemy if you don't have some kind of way to protect yourself if they decide they're tired of doing business and they want to come in and take what they want. If you don't have a nation or an army to back you up, then they can go against whatever they say anytime they want. And then we question why they always apply the rules so strictly with us but give everybody else leniency. It's because those rules were made for us. If they weren't going to be enforced for us, then they wouldn't exist. We don't understand, you know, psychological warfare. All of that stuff has been stripped from us. All of this self-hatred has been beaten into us. And now, you know, we look at these protests, right? But it doesn't matter because a cop could roll up on you right now and pull you out of your car, and there's nothing you could do about it. And if you don't comply and be a good nigga, they can say you're resisting and put you under arrest. And if you don't comply with that, then they can murder you. And, just in this particular time, they may be charging cops while people are getting mad. Yeah, definitely. They want us to go back to being slaves again. But, they understand slavery never ended. And, of course, the 13th Amendment we all know about, except for punishable by a crime. But it also said voluntary servitude is legal in America, right? They force you to work. You can't eat if you don't work. So they put you on these jobs where they pay you just enough to come back to work. And if they control the resources, because resources, that is the wealth. It's not green pieces of paper. It's controlling the resources. As long as they control the resources, they make the rules. And they don't even care about their own people. So they don't care about us. And anybody could call in anytime they want to call in. Monkey, if you want to call in and speak on it, I want to hear what you got to say. Yeah, you can call in. Anybody could call in anytime. And the number is 804-601-4015. But we have to start understanding the art of warfare, and we can't focus on what anybody else is doing. Right? These protests don't matter until we have a goal that we want to reach. Right? Until we set particular goals that we want to reach. Right? Police brutality is just one thing. These people control. All right, we'll take the first call.
Call from Darlene Anderson.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? Hello.
Now in America for us.
Say that again. You
like that.
Say that again.
And the reality is that we've never complained enough about the failure of public education. My son says, "Oh, Mom, you talk about education, but guess what? Our kids are being pushed through the whole system without making any progress. So when you're in the third grade level, what do? You just stay there. That's what you want to be, is get that little piece of paper, but it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything if you can't work at McDonald's, if you can't run your own business. Guess what they get? They get 12 years of public funding. They get summer vacation. They get Easter break. They get free health care. And guess who pays for that? All you guys, young rap artists, Black people who are making some money, paying taxes. A whole lot of money in taxes. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what do? We don't even participate in those folks. We don't go to public meetings where they decide how they're going to spend that money. When that stuff happened in Ferguson, the city council met urgently, and they assigned 99-year contracts so they can ensure that the money was coming to the community and their families would still have access to it. I think the joke is on us as a people, because we can say we don't do public policy and certain things we just don't have time for. But they have time, and they make time. You understand where I'm coming from? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Hello?
Oh, wait a minute.
Can you hear me?
I went to the earbud. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now, because, they play games. You'll be talking on the phone, and all of a sudden the earbud comes on, and, hey, what can I say?
Yeah.
It really is. We've given them so much, and we've given them everything for the last 30 years or so. This technology is a joke, because if you're not a network administrator, you're not running any game. They're watching every bit of data. They want to know where you go, how many times you get up and go to so that could be some money. It's just that we have to think about things. It's got to be different. It can't be the same shit anymore.
Yeah,
And I'm just frustrated because we don't talk about it. Every time a man gets a woman pregnant, that's a new harvest for them. And we are the harvest. And we can pretend like, oh, slavery, the plantation, and oh, hell no. Because by law, you have to put your child in public school. And that's compulsory education. I mean, you go and pay taxes, and I don't care. You can pretend you ain't paying no taxes, but guess what? You out there Uber and Lyft and whatever, and even if you ain't paying that money, like out of your pocket, the portion that they're getting they're still getting it. That's why these gig workers can get the unemployment right now. It's real. Because somebody's paying money. So y'all could work so they can make a whole lot more money. So just because you're not paying it by filing taxes, they're still getting the share of you. And everybody pays health care until you get sick. Once you get sick, you go right on the state and you go right on the county. Because you can't work and pay for it.
Hey, your phone is going. Hello? Can you hear me?
Because we haven't taken the responsibility on demanding accountability.
Hello?
How many kids fail? What is the letter grade of F? And you still get to run to the next grade? What is that? You understand what I'm saying? And I know it happens because I was helping a young woman. I mean, none of my kids, I had 3 boys. My oldest one is 30, I want to say 35. My youngest one is 22. But they never really
Hello?
I was working on
the sister, her phone was kind of messing up. Yeah, we can't hear her. I don't think she could hear me either. But yeah, sister, you could call back in. We just couldn't really hear you like that. But I heard a couple of things she was saying. She did make a couple of good points that we have to, send our kids to their schools, but that's not by mistake, right? And that's the thing about the civil rights movement and certain black leaders. That's why we have to be careful, and not particular leaders. We need to have councils, right? But during the segregation era, and they was desegregating schools, right? When Thurgood Marshall went to court, he actually won the case to where they were going to fund black schools equally to white schools just to keep them separated. And I'm not sure if they would have did it, but they probably would have, just to keep black kids out of white schools. But he said, no, we want to integrate. But not only did this hurt the black kids, it hurt the black teachers, right? And we can't just blame them for integrating. We have to understand they were in the worst schools with the worst conditions. The teachers was teaching out a Jet magazine that they had to pay for. And back then Jet magazine did talk about black history. But the point is, they were underfunded and they did need help. But the enemy used that against us. They always set us up to use, those kind of things against us. Right? And Thurgood Marshall said, no, we want to fully integrate. And they sent 6-year-old children into schools where grown white adults, male and female, were standing out there screaming on them, spitting on them. Yeah, they probably were learning. But more importantly, they were learning about their culture, right? They were taught about how to survive, right? And as they control our let's take this next call. Hello?
Hey.
Hey, who is this?
You ready to call, Moki?
Hey, what's going on, Moki?
Nothing. I think we should talk about the Karen situation.
What you got to say?
Well, I feel like with the whole, just any type of civilian being able to come up to black people at this point and reprimand you for whatever and demand to see why are you here and where you supposed to be at and whose house you going to, whose apartment you going to, and all of this and the police siding with them. The bottom line is, in this country, it's going to always be like that unless we do something about it. That's just the bottom line. Thinking that one day these white people is going to have a change of heart. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Why would they do that? It's working out for them. The way they're living is everything is great for them and their kids. So as long as we're away from them and it ain't too many black people in their neighborhood, they're happy. So, you know, every face that they see from the beginning of the day, when they get up to go get their coffee and their paper in the morning, that's a white face. And pump some gas and then go to work, that's a white face. Get off from work, get a couple of dollars off the bank, that's a white face. Everybody that they see is all white. They hardly ever have to see us, and when they do, they're pissed off. So they don't want us here because basically our main point of being in this country was to serve them and to service them. And as long as we're not entertaining them or servicing them in some type of a way, they want us out their face. No, they don't care about our kids. No, they don't care about us as human beings. They don't. They're never going to do that. So realistically speaking, we need to talk about the real and come up with some solutions about what we're going to do about that, whether or not we're going to just keep on just sitting around entertaining this, because whenever they get ready, they say whatever they want to say with no repercussions. Nobody's doing nothing. A handful of black women will, but many white women, as I've seen, talking crazy to these black men, I couldn't get away with it. It's getting out of hand, completely out of hand. So at this point in that the whole riot thing, I think was that was orchestrated by a bigger source for everybody to get upset. You don't know what those police were spraying at those kids. And yes, I know about Antifa and all of them was there, and people doing. I seen the police myself laying the bricks out. I seen it, so I know what was going on with that. They participated in that riot just more so than anybody, because the black people was really hurt and upset. It wasn't a time to try to just steal something or whatever. They were really hurt by those 3 deaths or whatever, which has been many more. But I'm just saying, just back to back to back or whatever. But I think that was something that they illustrated behind walls. They pulled the strings. The puppet master was back there pulling the strings, and a lot of people got hurt. A lot of people went to jail. And what's going to happen? Because they've still been killing people since then. I know we all know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're going to stop. Why would they stop? They're not scared. Who are they scared of? Us? See, when white people attack black people, nothing happens. But when black people attack white people or fight back, they come into your house. Now, when we start getting some men like that, then that's when it's a stop. That's the only way it's going to stop. You can't beg your way out of it. You can't plead your way out of it. You can't march your way out of it. You can't conversationalize your way out of it. They don't care about that. They want you to shut up and leave our nice, white, lily white life alone. Get away. Like shooing a dog. Go away, you mangy mutt. That's how they feel about us. I don't really care how they feel about me. I'm pro-black, so I'm not in touch with their feelings. I don't give a damn how they feel. I'm just being clear about why they're not going to stop doing this unless we do something about it. And singing songs and having conferences and doing lectures and educating ourselves and all of that. We done already did all of that. We've all become, well, not all of us, but most of us have become conscious, if you want to call it that or whatever. Okay, nothing is changing. If anything, is getting worse. Now you got white chicks rolling up on big, grown black men. Like she ready to, beef? Like, you want beef? I thought y'all was so scared. What happened to the days when you was clutching your purse? All that shit is an act. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What
definitely.
happened to you? You were so scared. It's like a bunch of bullshit. Now you so hard. Yeah, you real hard now. We need to come up with some other type of strategy where we letting this country know, look, this was never your country in the first place. But see, this is something that should have happened a long time ago. We should have been, and I don't know who wanted to do this. Maybe it was Malcolm X or either Marcus Garvey. Somebody wanted to take the United States to the world courts
Yeah,
about slavery and all of that. Like, it's a way to do things. But they've been working on the rest of the world to hate us. And the way that they charmed them into doing that is because they gave them all the jobs that they would never allow us to have because they denied us loans and so on and so forth if you didn't know how to get money. You know what I mean? So some third world country person could come over here, sit down, and get a loan to get him a business. Well, our forefathers built this country. We were born here. We can't get a loan to do anything. I mean, it's like pulling teeth to get a loan. But here comes some person that was non-educated and does not know how to interact with black people. Where do they put them at? Right in the black neighborhood, because they don't want them in their hood unless they're somewhere manicuring the grass or, something like that. Or that's it. And we go for that. So in turn, that makes these Korean people think, okay, well, all right, these are the niggers, so let us join in. The Arabs think that. The Indian people think that. And I'm not talking about the ones that were here that they stole the land from. I'm talking about the ones that red dot or whatever. They come over here like the rest of the foreign people, and they join in with the hate. All of that's a plan orchestrated by white people and with our own black people that hate one another. When you dangling this money in front of somebody's face and they're poor and they see you living great and good, they want to live good too. So you won't shut up. You won't sit down. And so it takes a strong man like the Muhammad Ali to be like, yeah, you can have the title. Yeah, you can have my money. Yeah, I'll go to jail. I'm not doing nothing you're talking about. No, I'm not doing it. Most people ain't doing it. You see how quickly Snoop said, I'm sorry. You represent our culture. What you doing? But anyway, still, that's how it's happening, and that's where this whole thing I think that's coming from with our own people, from black people, is because they never had the chance to enjoy life. Like I said, we're just surviving. Black people are tired of surviving. They want the pursuit of happiness like everybody else. They want to live and enjoy their life. I want to be able to step out my house and not have to think, will I live to get back? You know? They don't worry about that. White people don't worry about that. They cut the police out whenever they feel like it. And some of them do get killed, but hardly ever. But they cut them out randomly. We can't just know for sure we can go cussing out the police. Get out of my face. Why are you bothering me? We can't do that. There's a lot of things we can't do that we didn't even think about. So, yes, it's stressful living life like that. They don't know anything about that. They don't care about that. And I mean, as far as how it feels, they know they're doing it. Let's not ever act like they don't know that they're doing it and it's being done. They don't know how it feels because it's not done to them. So once again, they don't care about it. They're like, so what?
Yeah.
They think that we're strong enough to handle all this pain and all of that. You remember they used to say that during slavery, beating all of that. Oh, they can take it. They think we can just take everything that they dish out or whatever. Well, you know what? My final thing that I'm going to say about all of that is that everything that's happening to us, all the suffering and stuff, is going to come to an end. And it is really universal law that this will not go on forever. And I'm not talking about some in the near future. I'm talking about real soon. They're going to have to pay the piper. Their karma is here. That's why they're acting crazier than ever. And that's for real. It's a lot going on. That's why they got that 5G stuff going on. They got these coronavirus and other viruses that they're making right now. You know, they playing with the shortage of food in different stores, and all of that. And there's a lot of games they play to keep people confused. I'm not confused. I see what they're doing. Because they back there doing some other things in the back. They're trying to control this population. This is about population control because they want to stay in control. We outnumber them. This is that our people's in jail. A lot of them for nothing. They know we outnumber. You think in this country that people of color or black people are not the majority? You really think that? That's a nice old wise white tale. That's cute, but it's a lie, and we know it, and they worried about it. So
Yeah,
that's the problem.
thank you, Monkey. I gotta take some more phone calls.
All right.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you dropping the knowledge. So,
Okay. The next time.
all right. Yeah, and she was dead on about all of that. You know, Monkey be dropping that knowledge, and you know she's right about the whole Karen situation, and we all know what it's gonna take for to stop that from happening. And I see all these videos and people pleading and crying with them, trying to explain and make them feel comfortable. If you're gonna do anything, pull out your phone and make fun of them. Do something to piss them off, troll them back, right? If you're gonna sit there and argue with them. But we have to be careful because these people understand warfare, right? And a lot of times they're not gonna try you if they don't have a weapon, right? And I was just looking up a case of a brother named Carlos Carson, right? This brother, he was staying at a Motel 6 or a motel or whatever, and he got into an argument with the manager because his car, was vandalized, and he wanted to see the video, and the manager wouldn't let him. So this brother was just walking back to his car or back to his room, nothing but a cup of coffee in his hand, and this white boy who was supposed to be the security guard, he literally just pepper sprayed this brother out of nowhere. The brother was just walking, and this white boy just pepper sprayed him, right? So this brother started whipping this white boy ass, right? But the white boy had a gun. He was supposed to be acting security. So this white boy just pulled out his gun and shot and killed his brother, right? Shot him in the head. And, they only charged this white boy with manslaughter. But like the sister said, it's different standards, but there's a reason why it's different standards. But, as a people, we have to be careful and we have to understand that we are at war. And we have to either decide if we've had enough and we're going to start doing what we have to do to stop it from happening, or, we just got to accept that it's going to keep happening. But at the end of the day, the choice is on us, right? And by the way, the other person that called in, you could call back, and anybody else can call in too, 804-601-4015. And anybody can call in and talk about whatever they want to talk about. It's just open phones. I'm just on here to talk to y'all tonight. But like she said, it's these people who are creating this image, because warfare is images. Warfare is everything. Everything is war, right? So if you see, violence and destruction, and you attach something like Black Lives Matter to it, then you're going to say, well, you have all of these cops coming out here saying these niggas need to be shot in the head. I'm tired of this Black Lives Matter protest. It's going to be a civil war, right? Meanwhile, it's white kids fucking doing all the damage. But they put us as the face of it. How do I feel about their symbols being taken down? I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's meaningless. And, you have to ask yourself, who really won the Civil War? Have you ever seen somebody who lost a war still fly their flag on the Capitol building or have statues put up right after the war? You really have to ask yourself who won the Civil War, right? And we already understand, they try to say states' rights and all of that stuff. But it was really about taxes. The North just wanted in on that slave money the South was making. And so they fought a war over taxes. When America became America, they stabbed Britain in the back over taxes. Britain was funding, the people that came here to slaughter all the native people and enslave all the melanated people, right? But when it was time to pay back the money, they said, you're charging us too much. And they fought a war over money. And our kids are being shot down in the street. And we walk around talking to, begging, the same people who justify all of this stuff to please, at least charge the person. We're happy if that person gets fired. But if you do something to harm them, what do you think will be the consequences? Like my sister was just saying. So we don't even understand all of the aspects of warfare. And, and this is why we have to get back in control of our children's minds. We have to, I know my sister said, we are already educated ourselves, but I, I don't think so. It's so many things that can help us in our history. Just going back through all of the history, you see the same thing keep recycling over and over. And there were a lot of things that were actually successful. We just don't hear about them, right? There are a lot of cases where Black people won, the battle. We just don't hear about it because they control what we see, they control what we hear, and they can return, they control what we think. They lost a physical battle, but they won the peace with the assassination of, and yeah, they all lied to him. And the thing is, Abraham Lincoln, all he did was take George Washington's strategy, right? Because originally, Britain said they would free all the Black people just to spite, the people who was in America. They said they would free them. So they went to war and fought with them. And Abraham Lincoln understood that. But we have to understand that America, time and time again, turns to us in a time of need because they would lose until we get on their side. George Washington was getting his ass whooped until he begged Black people to come help him. And then he won the war. Abraham Lincoln was getting his ass whooped until he begged Black people to help him. And then he won the war. Right? This has been the beginning of time. That's why every 4 years they come to the Black community when it's time to vote. Because Black vote, quote unquote, determines the election. But what happens if we focus the Black, or if we put Black focus on our own issues and creating our own society, making our own rules, right? We're in a position where we can create whatever kind of society we want. We can have whatever rules we want to have. We're in a position to do whatever we want to do. But at the end of the day, it won't be that way until we understand that we are all we got. And we need to understand how low down and dirty our enemy is. And the sister talked about how white women, now they're so big and bad. When it comes to us, they were always that way. They were probably worse than the white male. they were just as brutal, if not more, especially to black women. They enjoy their privilege and they don't intend on giving it up for nobody. And all of this time, and like the sister was saying, as a black male, like, no, we all have issues. And white supremacy exposed a lot of issues that we have in our community. And all of these things we're going to have to work on once we create our own system, our own environment. We're going to have to work out our issues. But speaking as a black man, we have to recognize that allowing them to come in, right? As a black man, if somebody was to come in my house and rape my wife, my mom, or my daughter right in front of me, there's no way I should still be alive. But far too often we was forced to sit there and wait for our if some white boy just came on the road, he could pick any woman he wanted. It don't matter if she got a family. And all we could do is sit there and wait. But we as black men, our role is to protect the community. Our role is to fight back. And it doesn't mean necessarily bloodshed, because the point is to destroy white supremacy with no more casualties. The point is having no more casualties. We have too many casualties now. And revolution is not always bloodshed. Right? Not going to Walmart no more because they're okay with racial profiling. Right? That's a part of revolution. Building your own communities. But the issue that we've always faced, because they like to say, we can't do this. There's no black unity. We've built our own communities time and time and time again, but they've always been attacked and destroyed. We just have to be prepared to defend ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. But, as black men, we can't use the excuse of, well, the black woman did this or did that, because American history and lynching black men is and black women and black communities is built off protecting a white woman no matter what she did. I think it was the Scottsboro boys, right? Those two white girls, they were whores who were criminals, who stowed away on the train. They were about to go to jail, and they just simply said, "These black boys raped me." And you know what they did? They protected them. It didn't matter what they did in their past. It didn't matter who they were. We have to start adopting that same mindset because we are all we got. Yeah, definitely. But the Constitution says we are 3/5 of a human. And you can't tell me any law or any judgment or anything like that overturned the 3/5 human clause. Right? They literally transport prisoners, most of which are black men who could be our military force if trained properly. They ship them from state to state to sway the election, because certain states have electoral, just because of the electoral votes. They may send them to Ohio or Florida if they know they're going to be a Republican state, so they have more electoral votes. They still use us as property. And the same cycle goes on and on. The Scottsboro boys, I think, it happened in 1939. I'm not really sure if it was the Scottsboro boys. It was like 1,000 cases like that. But, of course, the Constitution was not meant for us. It was meant for free white men. And, white women try to use that to get on our side, but it was for the benefit of white women. It might have been for the power of white men, but for the benefit of white women. We have to understand that everything in America has always benefited white women. They joined the civil rights movement and they made it all about benefiting white women and every other group, right? Who benefits the most from affirmative action? All these white women that's police officers right now. Officer Betty Shelby, she murdered a black man and she benefits from affirmative action more than me. But they'll look at affirmative action and say, well, racism is over because you got that. We have to understand the kind of system we're living in. And we have to understand war, and we have to understand unity, and we're all we got. But if anybody else want to call in, I probably ain't gonna be on here too much longer. Try to get back to work. I am trying to. I have been working on. That's why I've been gone for a while. Trying to finish up this book I've been working on for like the last 2 years. Has like I couldn't get every single event that happened, but how the whole system of white supremacy was shaped, right? Yeah, protecting the lives is more important, right? Because when you look at all of these videos with these Karens, right? Because it's more than usual lately. And I've been watching it for a while, but it's more than usual the last month or so. But every single one, right? Even though they know they're wrong, there's always some white person to come there to console them, to rub them on their back, and tell the black person to stop antagonizing them once they start playing the victim. Now, that's what they're supposed to do. We shouldn't get mad at that. The issue is we're supposed to be coming up to that black person, consoling them, making sure they're fine. Right? I don't know if you've seen that video of that black woman beating that woman up in 7-Eleven. Right? She told her, call me a nigga again, and she did it. And so she beat her up. This woman grabbing her, she said, let me go or I'm gonna punch you again. So she wouldn't let her go and she punched her again. So the white man says, all right, she's had enough, let her go. Leave her alone. Not telling the white woman to stop holding on to her, not telling the white woman to stop doing what she's doing. No, he's gonna go help this white woman up. So why is it in our community we'll say, well, I would protect you, but you made this mistake or you did this before. And at the end of the day, that's really fear talking. It's because you're scared to stand up to the enemy. Oh yeah, definitely, Mogi. Trying to make it all right. I've been all of this history I've been talking about, all of these events that I've been talking about, it should be all in there. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I can be done soon. Um, yeah, definitely. Blacks need to challenge it, even if it was a diversion. We need to get on Justice Uncle Thomas' head. I'm not sure. Justice Justice Thomas. I'm not sure, but yeah, I was talking on Brother Bukari's show. We are happy with as some people put it, with trinkets, with symbolisms instead of actual tangible things. We're happy with the symbol of having a black president, but not having a tangible black president who's going to make changes that benefit us. And now we have some, I hate to say older black people saying, well, you need to vote for Joe Biden just to get Donald Trump out of office. Well, why should I vote for Joe Biden? Well, because he was with Barack Obama. We are happy with the symbols that we get because if you think about it, has America ever gave us anything tangible? And why would they? Why would they do something that will hurt them? The issue is we are happy with these symbols because that's all we've ever gotten. All we've ever gotten was the hope of freedom, but never actually the freedom. And it gotta reach a boiling point in enough of us to where we are willing to put aside whatever differences we got as they are. But until we do that, they have no fear because there's no consequences. I couldn't call 10 black people to come surround me, armed, if a cop shows up and starts violating my rights, even if we all know I'm in the right. One cop can literally come into that circle of 10 black people and violate everybody's rights, and all they could do is pull out a phone and complain about it. And for right now, while all of this protesting is happening, they may get suspended, but all that's going to go away once you stop watching it. Yeah, definitely. The world is watching, but nobody in the world is going to help. And when the world see that we ain't playing no more, then everything shuts down. We are the only ones that don't realize the kind of power that we have. We are the only ones. Everybody else know it. I mean, this whole system was created in the first place because of the power that we have. We were brought here to do what nobody else could do. Nobody else could have built this country. Everybody else tried and was dying, right? They couldn't survive the sunlight. We are the last people on earth to actually understand the power that we have. And once we understand it, and not only understand it, but be willing to use it and learn how to use it properly, then we're going to be a problem. And everybody knows this. That's why everybody has no problems jumping on the bandwagon. But anybody could call in. Probably wrap it up shortly. The number is 804-601-4015. So anybody could call in. Slavery is lies. No, it's not lies, my brother. Because we're still in slavery, my brother. And I don't really get into these conversations, but we don't all come from the same place. That's why we have so much problems unifying, and we all say we're this, we're this, we're this. We're not all one thing. We're all come from different places, right? A lot of the people back then, they spoke different languages. That's why it was hard for them to unify. But that's a different topic. But anybody want to call in? Number is 804-601-4015.
Marcus.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on, Marcus?
Hey, it's good talking to you. Good hearing your show back up.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I've been here, bro. I just been trying to focus on something else.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, we got to be like an octopus.
Yeah, definitely.
But, let me tell you, man, the main problem we all know and we all seen it, and the world is seeing it now, is racism. It's been a cancer to the entire world. Racism. White supremacy, to be exact. I'm not going on a rant. I'm just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because when it comes down to police, at random, I could ask any black man, have they ever been harassed by the police? And the answer 9 times out of 10 is yes. And if I ask how many times, 9 times out of 10, they would be like, man, I lost count. Especially in my age range. You know, I'm not going to go into that online, but the thing is, this has been a problem for centuries as far as white supremacy and racism. When it comes to police, it's been a problem for a cold century plus. And it's like they understand that, but at the same time, they have a louder microphone. But the thing is, we have a wider view on a camera. All right, brother. Good talking to you. Thank you for having me on, man.
Oh yeah, thank you, my brother. I appreciate the call, my brother. Yeah, he's right though. They you know, they created a bigger microphone. And brother JB, you can call in if you want to. It's all good. But you said why, if so much power, why not in charge? Because you got to decide to be in charge, right? You gotta, when you're ready to be in charge, you will be. If you didn't have any power, they wouldn't create whole organizations like the FBI just to stop you from unifying. If you didn't have any power, my brother, like we just have to recognize that we have the power. You know, they literally at our weakest state, we still are America's number one target. The number one problem, America says the number one issue or thing they're worried about is black unity, even when we're at our most ununified. Yeah, we aren't looking to take the power though. We're looking to be a part of somebody else's system, but it's never going to work because white supremacy is defined by black inferiority. Right? They need us in our position to make so that they can be in their position. And you know, we've always been so forgiving and you know open-hearted that we just allow the enemy to continue to come in our circle and then act surprised when they stab us in the back. Yeah, they definitely have the biggest microphone. They have TV networks, right? They can take off my channel right now if they wanted to, right? We're all subject to a white supremacy system right now. That's the point. But right, we wouldn't have to be subject to YouTube if we all came together. That's a power that we have right now. We can all put up however much money that's just in this chat room right now, and we can have our own website to put black news, black videos, stuff like that on there. Power is not one thing. Controlling your own economics is power, right? And right now, we can create a council of successful black business people. We can all donate whatever we have, right? And they could be in charge strictly of funding and helping grow Black businesses. And those businesses will come to our neighborhoods, we'll support them, and in return, they'll hire us. Right? Then we'll be back in control of our own economics. Once we control our own economics, we can build a school or schools for our children. We could fund our own police organizations, actually pay people to protect us in our communities from outsiders and people inside our community. That way, if it's a domestic issue or issue between, each other, we have somebody who can call who's not our enemy, who's somebody who will actually try to resolve the issue instead of lock everybody up. I mean, all of these things we can do right now, but we have to stop looking for somebody else because nobody else is going to be there. And if we don't believe that we have the power within us, we might as well give up right now and just, let whatever happen keep happening, right? Don't say nothing. Take we can, easily just take, I think Booker T. Washington's advice and just accept, you know, um, accept the lynchings. But at the end of the day, it's all our choice. You know what I'm saying? It's when we're tired of it, when we're fed up, and I don't know how long that's gonna take because it's been hundreds of years. It'll stop, and until then, we just gotta, accept that it is what it is. So when nobody else want to call in, I'm gonna wrap it up, give it another minute. But yeah, I wanted to come on here to the people, and I want you to subscribe to my backup channel because there's no telling, with YouTube right now they're letting me put videos back on here, but they can take this channel down anytime. So you could it's in the description. The Forecast Radio 24. Go ahead, subscribe to it. The next video is coming up soon. Yeah, we have to be willing to sacrifice whatever, right? But at the same time, you know, limit the amount of casualties. But at the same time, we have to be willing to give everything for freedom. Give me liberty or give me death, in the words of our enemies. You have to be willing to. And it's no point in being afraid because right now they can just roll up on you and do the same thing right now. Why not at least stand for something? Why not at least fight for your freedom? But you can definitely definitely subscribe to my backup channel. You can contact me, my email in the description and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'll be able to finish this book soon. Yeah, we are the Black media, my brother. We gotta do our own thing. We all we got. And at the end of the day, that's what we have to realize. We are all we got. But I appreciate talking to y'all. The next video should be up soon. So I'm gonna be back with a live after I upload and finish that video. It takes me a little while to finish these videos, so But I appreciate. I want to thank everybody who called in. My brother Marcus, Moki, everybody who called in. The person who called in earlier. We couldn't hear you. I'm sorry that I kind of lost connection or whatever. Yeah, by any means, in the words of our ancestors, by any means necessary, we got to do what we have to do. But yeah, I appreciate all of y'all, man. I'm gonna talk to y'all soon, man. As always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.